Hello and welcome to the BEC Podcast. I'm Mark Phelan for Badminton Europe, and I'm joined by English GB and European legend Nathan Robertson. We're here to take a little look back, a retrospective look back through the career of Nathan, which has been an eclectic career, but also a highly successful one. Nathan, and thank you very much for coming along and joining us.
You're welcome. It's always nice to be here.
A Nottingham boy. Tell us, as an emerging young boy playing badminton, what was it like growing up in Nottingham and being a badminton player and taking badminton seriously?
It was a great city and a great region, actually. We had a really healthy region in the East Midlands of England. And we had Andy Wood as the East Midlands regional coach. He obviously went on to be Olympic GB coach, so he was great for us growing up, a bit of great knowledge for us. And yeah, I had a great coach called Pete Herity growing up in Nottingham, who always gave his time for free to all the Nottingham juniors, and I always tell him that he had the hardest job because I was like a tearaway teenager, so my training wasn't so strong, and he had to deal with that, so it became easier for the coaches when I was older.
At what point, in those young teenage years did you decide, this sport is for me and I really want to push on and make it my life?
I was quite a late developer, to be honest. Wasn't even in the England squad, just playing county in a few tournaments, 12 to 16 years old. And then at 16, I think just started pushing the England squad or pushing into it. And I think I just got a taste of it, of maybe what success would feel like. And I remember going to my first England tournament with Gail Emms, actually, our first tournament together, and we won it. We won the first European tournament we played together. And I think that I just got that bug, and it was like a drug to me, and yeah, I was off then.
How did that, magical partnership, because that's what it was with Gail, how did that come about? How, what was the scenario behind that?
It was at a junior tournament, I can't remember where it was, somewhere in England, just a domestic one, and as normal, you're having to ask either parents or young players, and it was Gail who came up to me and asked if I'd play the next tournament, so I can't remember where it was. And I sheepishly said yes, all shy as we are, weren't very good at speaking to the girls back then when I was 15. So
okay.
So we ended up playing together, and it was just natural from the first competition. And we didn't do loads of training together back then. You just kind of turned up to junior tournaments and played with your partners. But we really connected naturally, and it was a partnership which really never looked back from the first tournament.
What was that real spark that made the Robertson Emms partnership so electric?
I think in the early years it was the styles.
Okay.
I was a controlled rear player, and I was also tall, so I always hit steep angles when I was younger. And Gail was the size at the net that she was great at killing. She was always dangerous. She didn't have great control below tape. But it was easy for me. I was keeping the control, and then everything was coming up to her. So she was just the one doing all the killing at the net, which she loved, I loved, and I think it was just a successful combination.
Moving along into the really successful period of your partnership with Gail, you had a European Championship win in 2004, which was in Geneva. Of course, this Olympic silver in Athens the same year. That tournament, that feeling, that silly photograph with the
the wreaths around
with the wreaths around your head that everyone sees, but something you probably look at and it takes you back and it stirs the memory, of that tournament. What were the really special things you can remember of that tournament? What are the things that flood back to you anytime you think about it?
Well, the Olympics alone obviously is incredibly special. I had my first experience in Sydney. And I remember watching Archer and Good, who won the first ever GB medal, and that gave me that instant hunger that they'd got a bronze, and I was just, very, very motivated from that moment in 2000, really, to have a period that was great. Myself and Gail got back together in 2001, after she had time out at the university. And then 2004, we went in as an outside medal chance, and the draw happened the way it did, and it was favourable for us. But we were performing at a great level at that event, and the silver medal, as soon as we'd won the semi-final and knew we were guaranteed a gold or silver, I remember feeling very proud of that already, but knowing that there was still hopefully a job to do in the final, which we almost did.
Almost did. I remember it well, watching it as a young boy. And 2006 was another good year. World Championship and Commonwealth success in that year again. And that was a golden period, 2004 to up to 2006. And what was the attention like around those years, you know, from the press in England? How did you and Gail deal with that attention? Is it something that you liked? You know, how was it for you?
I think we enjoyed it, and we definitely took on the kind of mantle as, you know, the spokespeople for badminton in GB in England, and we liked that. And certainly after the Olympics, there was a lot of attention because it was, you know, the first time a pair had ever been into the final. Silver was the best result. And also mixed doubles is unusual Olympic sport, so we'd got a lot of attention off that, because normally it's either male sports or female sports, but we were a mixed combination. And with Torvill and Dean, and they were comparing us to Torvill and Dean, so it was very special. And yeah, moving on to 2006, I really believed without any doubt we were going to win that World Championships, only because I really thought that the year before, in 2005, when we went in as #1 seeds in America.
Injury.
And so we were on such high form, and it was all going really well. And then, I got injured in the practice the night before the tournament started in America. So I was kind of, in my head, I was just owed one massively from that week. And so, there was quite a few people who also thought that there was no way that we were going to be beaten that year in Spain. Yeah,
I remember that injury in practice, as you said, before the World Championships. Psychologically, was that a damaging thing, or did that galvanize you and motivate you again to say, next year is my year?
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll never know what might have happened in America, but certainly turning up in 2006, still in good form and knowing, and like I said, I was totally convinced, and I think I was convincing people around me and other coaches, even other nations. I know the Danish coach at the time, and I spent a lot of time in Denmark, and I could also see that he was just believing that we were almost going to be impossible to beat. Yeah. So that's a nice feeling, and I'd love to be able to create that with all my players now as a coach.
Olympic silver, world gold. Which one holds most pride? Which one is the one you would pick over the other?
Oh, easy choice for me. It's gold. Gold. So gold. I was only happy really on the top of the podium, although very proud of the Olympic silver. My memories of stepping on top of the podium, and especially hearing your national anthem, are super proud memories.
Great matches you've been involved in. I know one in my brain, and I'm wondering if it's the same. I'm going to ask, what was the great matches, the great comebacks? Which match stands out in your brain as one of those ones you go, wow, we did well that game?
Yeah. There were certain players who were legends in doubles. I mean, Kim Dong-moon, people like that. Tricus Haryanto, for me, was one of the hardest players to play. So I remember games where I beat Kim Dong-moon once, I beat Tricus a couple of times, and they really stand out for me just because they were the hardest people for us to play. Yeah. But there were other matches. I mean, my Olympic matches were certainly very special. In 2008, we had the toughest draw in my opinion. We were playing Zhengbo, Gao Ling. Obviously, Gao Ling was going for 3 Olympic golds, which would have been unbelievable. But yeah, that match, I had actually had ankle surgery 3 months before, so it wasn't actually looking that good. But then, we performed to a level which we had to dig very deep for. Yeah,
from memory, 17-12 down in the deciding set to come back and win. Yeah, against one of the top Chinese players of all time, most people will say. Yeah. So that was certainly a huge victory.
Something actually happened in that match, which that only happened once in my career, which was that we were playing and I was tired because I hadn't had all the fitness work. And at 17-12 down, I remember I hit a smash, and then the next rally I hit a following smash, winner on the floor, and I had a huge adrenaline rush, which I've never felt before at the end of a game. And it kind of doubled my energy and doubled my belief that it was going to actually, that we were going to win, and every smash I hit was going to go on the floor, and I'd never had that in my career. So again, it's one of those things you'd love to bottle it and just sell it, but I'm just happy that I felt it that one time, and it paid off big time.
moving on from Beijing, and we went on to London, and it was, Gail retired, and you start playing with Jenny Walwork up to London, and that was a difficult Olympic campaign, because you were also battling against Chris and Imogen at the time. And when you look back on that now, what were the memories of that particular Olympic campaign? I remember seeing you win an international challenge in Poland and interviewing you thereafter, and it was still very much open as to who was going to win this spot. Yeah. When you look back at that battle, do you look back at it as with good memories, or are the things that you might have said, may have changed or whatever?
No, not good memories. Good memories would have been probably finishing the career at the London 2012 Games, which was the plan. But I think we battled really well that year. I mean, it wasn't easy. It was a very high level. And you have to know, Chris and Imo were world silver medalists. They were really, really strong, and they had some great results as well. And we had a really good fight together with them. We actually played them in 3 matches in the qualifying, which was great. They won 2-1, and they beat us by 2 or 3 ranking places. So really deserved it. And Chris has gone on to show that he's one of the best men, if not the best man on a mixed doubles court in the world now. And he's gone on strength to strength. Yeah,
I think I have a memory of a great match in Sweden. You played against each other in an international challenge during that year. Life after badminton, and there's been a lot of talk about life after badminton. We've seen Gail and her, been very public about that in the last couple of weeks, etc. And but you seem to take it in your stride, and you're a little bit laid back and chilled out about it. But retirement comes, and it comes very fast and hard. Yeah. What is the 6 months like after you put down the racket for the last time?
Retirement is tough. I mean, I don't think any professional sportsman, who are certainly successful ones, who are going to say retirement is easy, because it's instant. It's, it's Monday you're a professional athlete for your country, Tuesday you're a retired athlete with no connection, and it's tough. But for me, I was very content with my career. I was very, very satisfied, and thought that I got the most out of it, but I also enjoyed it to the fullest, which is a big thing in my life. I need to enjoy everything I'm doing. So retirement for me was very enjoyable. I could spend more time doing the things I wanted to do. I love spending time with my dog, JJ, taking him on lots of walks, and I've golf, cycling, ice hockey, all these sports which I didn't really have chance to do or go and see when I was playing. I have the chance to do all those now. So certainly embracing a different lifestyle.
I'm back in the England fold now as a coach, as we know, and we see you on the European circuit. We see you around a lot. What kind of buzz is that giving you?
I'm enjoying it. I mean, since I retired 5 years ago, I've been coaching anyway. It's just you won't have seen me, because I've been doing it privately in England with a lot of really talented junior England players. So I wasn't going to the tournaments with them. I was just coaching them. But since now they've become 18, 19 and stepping out of the junior system, then it was an opportunity for me to step back in. And the changes within the England setup with the funding, for me, we've got opportunities now to change that for the positive. Even though we've got less money, there can be positives from it. And for me, it was a good time to step back in, and I'm enjoying working with both the juniors and seniors. And I hope that they use me for the best way that they can, my experience and also my knowledge of what you can get out of a career. It's not just about results, it's about enjoying the whole experience.
What can Nathan Robertson give to these young kids coming up, and to the experienced ones? When Marcus and Lauren or whoever it may be turn around and they see you sitting behind the court, what can you bring to them? What do they get from you?
I think I'm very clear when I speak to these young players or senior players about what they should be getting from either their matches, their tournaments, or just their experience, really. A lot of it is an experience, because it's not all about winning or losing. Because you win or lose this week, but that can take something into next week. So there's just the whole journey you're on. And yes, people will remember you for your medals, but when I'm 80, it's all about the experience and life I've had. And for those guys, it's the same thing. So it's all about enjoyment, all about experience. And those medals, they're just a bonus. And you will get them as long as you're enjoying them and doing the right things day to day.
Nathan, thank you very much for joining us. if you want to follow Nathan on social media, you will always get a good chuckle about some of his posts, certainly on Twitter.
It'll be fun.
And so make sure you get along there and follow Nathan. And while you're at it, click on like and share or whatever on Badminton Europe's social media channels across Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Nathan, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Goodbye.